All right, so with the NBA draft concluding, it's time to look a little bit more in depth at the Warriors draft picks. The Warriors had picks 19 and 57. They used both of those to pick up two prospects that look pretty promising. So in the first round with pick 19, the Warriors picked guard from Santa Clara University, Brandin Podziemski, and he is a guard. He kind of reminds me of Donte DiVincenzo, and I'll get back to that point in a minute, but obviously a pretty highly ranked prospect that the Warriors acknowledged there at pick 19, a guy that will stay in the Bay Area after playing not too far from where the Warriors play in San Francisco. And he kind of had an unconventional way to the NBA draft. He started with Illinois, having a smaller role, only averaging 1.4 points a game, transfers to Santa Clara, and right out the gate has a much bigger role, 19.9 points per game last season, and hit 44% of his threes. And so obviously a big three-point shooter heading to a team that shoots a lot of threes and a team that has the best three-point shooter in the world, not a bad fit. And so definitely makes sense for the Warriors. Now, obviously Steve Kerr has been criticized in recent time for not playing younger players, but I think with a guy like this, he wants to obviously use that potential, and the fact that the Warriors might lose some pieces in free agency, like Donte DiVincenzo, it's not a bad time to get these prospects rolling. Obviously, Podziemski is great at shooting, and so as the Warriors as a team. And so using him in that role and maybe a second unit or third unit would really work to their advantage. Obviously, not sure if he'll be in the G League at first or what he'll do, but it's for sure that Podziemski is a pretty good player. He was never a surefire prospect, never a guy that really had the attention of scouts the way that some other players did, but obviously a guy that could be a good role player and maybe even in the starting lineup someday. And obviously with Dunleavy now as general manager, he saw potential in him. And so, yeah, I mean, with losing Jordan Poole, for sure now, and possibly Donte DiVincenzo, likely losing him, getting a shooter like that to be in the lineup is important. And so, yeah, of course, also, a cheaper contract than those of DiVincenzo probably asking for a bigger extension, or of course Jordan Poole dumping that contract. So I like his game. I mean, I feel like that improvement over at Santa Clara was good. Got a bigger role on a smaller team. Not as big of a conference or anything, but he was the WCC Player of the Year. Had a great year, a great turnaround season this year, and looks like a pretty good value pick. I don't think people were super enthusiastic about the Warriors getting him, maybe compared to other teams finding some steals in that first round. But, I mean, I'm not going to complain. We'll see how he does. I think it's kind of unpredictable at this point. And so we'll see what happens. Still some unknowns there on the team. But I think, for a guy that, if he can play right away, if Steve Kerr gives him an opportunity, I'm not going to complain. Now, the Warriors' other pick was in the second round, 57th overall, so right near the end of the actual draft. He was from Indiana, Trayce Jackson Davis, and he is actually being called one of the best second-round draft values, and of best second-round value. Like he's looking like a steal. He is obviously a guy that was expected to go a lot earlier in the draft. Out of Indiana, played for the Hoosiers, and it looks like a good pick. He's a good player overall from what I'm hearing. He's got the size. He's 6'9". He's a little bit older. I think he's 23 years old and is expected to play right away on a team that needs taller players, a team that needs guys to play right away that are out the draft, and some younger guys to kind of complement the core of the Warriors that's aging, especially with adding Chris Paul. I feel like he could be really valuable on this team. Let's hope he does. He can defend well, rebound, and finish. I see him as a very valuable asset, and definitely I'm surprised that he made it that far in the draft. I feel like he was going to be earlier, and so I was really happy that the Warriors got him. A lot of athleticism for him, great passing and defense, which the Warriors need all that. That was stuff they struggled with last year, especially with sloppy turnovers, and so hopefully, he can pan out. I'm excited for that pick, especially even, I'll admit a little more excited than our first round selection. So TJD is looking like good value. He's got the size. He can shoot pretty well. He can defend. He's kind of got it all. And obviously, there's been talks about the Warriors losing Jonathan Kuminga. I mean, he looks like a Jonathan Kuminga type player, Davis does. So we'll see what happens with him. He's expected to be in the 15-man roster right out the gate, and so hopefully Steve Kerr, who he can give him some playing time, but until then we'll have to see. We'll see what happens in the summer league as well, and the California Classic just right around the corner. So with that, let me know your guys' thoughts. I'll see you guys later, and let me know your thoughts on all these picks not just the Warriors, but any picks in the draft that you were surprised or happy about. And I'll see you guys later, and go Warriors.